Good afternoon. This is the public hearing for April 1st, 2020. These are cases that were originally scheduled for March 17th, some of the cases. I will re-announce the adjournments and withdrawals from this morning, and they are 2409BZ, 7810 164th Road, Queens, 2016-4149BZ, 500-508 Van Nest Avenue, the Bronx, 2017-272BZ, 10-1946 Road, Queens, 2019-74BZ, 112-51 Northern Boulevard, Queens, and a case that was withdrawn, 2016-1215BZ, 142 West 29th Street, Manhattan. The cases that were adjourned will have a rescheduled date, which will be notified by email by the project manager and on our website.
Okay, then you can.
So the cases that are to be heard today are 2017-270BZ, 1434 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, 2018-15BZ, 250 West 26th Street, Manhattan, 2018-91BZ, 7880 Leonard Street, Manhattan, and 2018-137BZ, 251-77 Jericho Turnpike, Queens, 2018-145BZ, 251-73 Jericho Turnpike, Queens. So after the review session, you can call in when your case is called for the public hearing.
Okay,
So, go ahead.
I want to say, because I'm watching now, there are people in the waiting room. You should not be in the waiting room. Please hang up. I see, I'm going to name you, John Overland, A.B. Capstone, and Edward Loria. This is the review session, and you should hang up until your case is called for the hearing. So please hang up and just listen to the video. And when we're ready for the hearing, then you dial in. So please hang up. You should not be in the waiting room. Okay, they're still in the waiting room. Please hang up. And now we're going to start the review session.
Okay, so this is the public review session for April 1st, 2020 for new zoning cases that were originally scheduled for March 17th. So cases that were scheduled for March 17th, excuse me. 2017-270BZ, 1434 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn.
So the people who are in the waiting room, I see someone, R. Hellenbrecht, please hang up. Also Ted, oh, that's Ted, that's our Ted. R. Hellenbrecht, please hang up. We are not going to be talking to applicants until the hearing opens, and this is the review session. So this is a review session for case number 2017-270BZ. No one should be on hold trying to get into our meeting. Everyone should be just watching this on the YouTube video. Okay, I'm scrolling to my comments. Okay, the applicant submitted further proofs of being in business as a transmission parts wholesaler for 5 years as of December 2019. So I think the findings are made. We were actually kind of waiting out till we passed through December, because that's actually what made the 5 years. So we've hit the 5 years. I have to say we've been having a terrible time getting complete submissions from this applicant, and had asked at the last hearing for a complete submission of the floor plans, which we did not receive. In the interest of moving this case along, because it's been here far too long because of those incomplete submissions, I'd like to direct our project manager and our counsel to drawings A004 and A005, which were submitted on November 18th, 2019, and to the full 8-page set that was submitted on February 13, 2019. Those two later drawings could be swapped into the older set, and then we'll have a complete set, because it's been impossible to get a complete set from this applicant. We did receive a final EAS on November 20th, and we have fire department letter of no objection. Yeah, and those are my comments. So I'll go then to Commissioner Otley Brown, who's not showing on her video. Can you?
Oh, sorry.
Sure. There you go.
Okay, I have no comments.
Okay. And then Commissioner Shanda. Sorry, I went out of order, sorry.
No comments.
Okay. And Commissioner Sheta
Same here. I have nothing to say.
and Commissioner Shibeta.
Nothing further from me.
Okay.
Okay, 2018-15 BZ, 250 West 26th Street, Manhattan. It's a PCE legalization,
Hold on one second.
Okay.
'Cause
250 West 26th Street.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I see people in the waiting room. People have dialed into our hearing. You should hang up until we call your application. This is the review session and you will not be admitted to speak. So please hang up until the hearing, at which point we will call your case. That's for Hellenbrecht and someone whose initials are KOH. Please hang up. Okay, so this is 250 West 26th Street. And my comments are the corrections to the plans were made, but I'd like to make a note to our council, our own council, that there are two sets of plans that need to be combined into one. That was recently submitted, so they were submitted separately to create drawings A2 to A8 and SK1. So please make a note that that's the complete set of drawings. We do have a letter of no objection from the fire department. And those are my only comments. And fire department, of course, can speak during the hearing. Okay, so Commissioner Otley Brown. Commissioner Shanda.
No comments.
Okay, Commissioner Otley Brown,
No comments.
Commissioner Sheta.
Yeah, I believe this case is good and I'm ready to vote on it.
Okay. And Commissioner Shibeta.
Okay with this case as well.
Okay. All right.
Okay, 2018-91 BZ, 7880 Leonard Street, Manhattan.
Okay, again, we have two people in the waiting room. Please hang up the phone, Hellenbrecht and KOH. This is a review session and no members of the public can speak during the review session. 2018-91 BZ, my comments are, we ask that residents be noticed for the next hearing. In other words, for this hearing, I didn't find proof of posting, so I don't believe they were noticed. Drawings were provided, but they are very note-filled and crowded. So it's not, and some of the notes, many of the notes are not legible in the PDF form that we are reviewing. As it appears that the plans themselves are scanned and then the notes are in another layer and you never can read those kinds of drawings. So they need to resubmit the PDFs. We also asked for clarification that the entrance to the PCE and elevator is accessible from the street. In other words, no intervening step. They didn't provide that, but when you look at the street, at a photograph anyway, the entrance to the door to 80 Leonard is at grade. So for the disabled, they have to go through the common hallway that's shared with the residents to get to the first floor PCE. And then the application required an EAS because it's greater than the 20,000 square feet. A short form EAS was received, but the information provided was limited. It's the opinion of our environmental, our seeker officer, that because this is it's an existing building, that we can, the impact would be minimal. And so even though normally you would have had to do a long form, it's not likely that there would be impacts. So did you want to add anything, Tracy, to that? I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to try anyway. Okay, there you
go. Nothing at the moment.
Okay. Correct statement. But maybe someone else wants to add, but anyway. Okay. Anybody else? I'm going to recognize now Commissioner Shanda.
So in the February 26th submission, the applicant provided photos depicting the notice of hearing posted in the building. I believe it was posted in the building mail room. That was the area. Maybe the applicant can correct that.
Okay, but so February 26th.
Yeah, there were two photos that are provided that shows the letter posted on the walls. Maybe it's just one wall, but it's in the mail room.
Okay, can you take a look at when that posting was for, like what the hearing date was? Because
That is the difficult one because the photo is not very clear.
yeah, okay. Okay, so that's part of the problem because we had two postponed hearings and this was heard on January 28th. And yeah, and my understanding was that we were going to notice, but and that somehow that notice was defective, but maybe I'm mixing this up with something else. So applicant should clarify about that. Okay, and then Commissioner Ollie Brown.
No comments.
Okay, and Commissioner Sheta.
Yeah, the only thing I have is the sound attenuation. I'm not sure if they keyed, as per our request during the last hearing, if they keyed the sound attenuation to the plans. The other thing is in the sound and vibration thing, in the submission letter, they are, and actually in the statement of facts as well, they are talking about lightweight concrete that was placed somewhere. I'm not sure what is the role of the lightweight concrete in mitigating vibrations. That shouldn't be counted on.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, lightweight, if when they mentioned it, I thought that they are saying that it's going to increase the mass of the building. So it's going to make it more difficult for the building to vibrate. I don't think with lightweight concrete, this is going to be the case. In addition, this lightweight concrete doesn't add to stiffening the structural elements of the building. So they should be irrelevant to the, like, the vibration and sound issue.
Okay, okay, and then Commissioner Shabeta.
Nothing further from me on this.
Okay.
You're breaking up, Marjorie, or something.
I am? Can you hear me? Oh, not good.
And the next one?
Yeah.
Sorry. 2018 137BZ 251-77 Jericho Towing Park, Queens. This is the daycare.
Right, and then after that, we'll hear the PCE.
Should we call the other one or not? Left or separate?
Really different. It's just that we have to see them at the same
You're
time.
freezing out.
Different applications. So, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just a second. Oh, and I just want to say one more time, there are 3 people in the waiting room who have dialed in. You need to hang up. Helen Brecht, KOH, and James Chun. Please hang up. This is a review session, not the public hearing. You call back in when you are called for the public hearing. Please hang up the phone or disconnect from activity on YouTube. Just watch us on the YouTube video. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of notes on this one. Okay. The broker search submission, I believe, responded to our request to know what properties were available for rent or sale that satisfied the established criteria for the daycare, which was a 10,000 square foot space with 2,500 square feet of outdoor space. So unless Commissioner Ollie Brown disagrees, I think that that satisfied the finding for searching for suitable properties in conforming where it would be a conforming use. I do have to say some of the sites that were rejected though, but and were large enough are 1-story retail with rooftops that could have met the outdoor space needs. And it's not clear if the broker contacted the owners to see if they would be up for renovating and upscaling the facades. And then a couple of the sites were rejected without explanation. So, you know, we've seen so many of these cases where the developer, the owner of the property says, wow, great opportunity, a school, and then they upgrade it significantly. So to say that the facade is ugly or something doesn't play out in the situations where we've seen that the property owner is really willing to spend some serious money in order to have a school be a tenant, which is a fantastic tenant when it's guaranteed arguably by government money. And I'm not really understanding the Northwell Health occupancy shifts, how it shifts the use. It's still ambulatory care with doctor's offices and exam rooms. But as we aren't looking at a parking waiver anymore, that's DOB's call. The parking study wasn't updated to reflect the reduced parking requirements, nor the updated parking plans that removed the drop gates and so on. So there was an old parking study submitted previously that has not been updated to reflect the revisions. We do have an updated security plan for the stairwells and elevators, which is good. We have a letter of no objection from fire department as of January 28th. And a revised phase 2 was submitted on February 10th. And on March 10th, DEP had comments on the phase 2, which indicates that some of the materials that were described in the table of contents were actually missing. And then February 18th, DOT had comments, and the plans were revised with respect to the curb cut width, which was one of their comments. But I note it still doesn't align with the driveway as DOT requested. And I don't know if the amended width is adequate. So it's the curb cut still narrower than the driveway. So it still looks like you drive on the sidewalk to get off out of the driveway. In terms of my comments on the drawings, all of the sidewalks, driveways, and crosswalks should be dimensioned on the site plan. What I observed is there are many plans and there's a little bit of information on each one because some are part plans, one's a complete site plan. And so you kind of have to scour around from drawing to drawing to find all of the information, and you don't find it in one place. It all has to be in one place for the site plan information. And if the site plan is too small to fit all the information, then they need to enlarge it. The first floor plan is being notated with signage as a partial site plan. This is unclear since the text boxes cover some of the drawings. Notations should be all on one drawing, that kind of notation. So the text boxes are they're trying to get way too much on one little drawing sheet. The information on BSA 009 vehicle circulation plan is different from 003, which is the first floor plan. They really need to coordinate the set and not have so much redundancy because more redundancy you have, the more mistakes you have. That's always the standard on drawings. They need to show clearly on the drawing where the 45-foot long, 4-foot high green fence is that is depicted on BSA 14. I couldn't find any 45-foot long fence anywhere on the drawings. BSA 2.1 parking garage uses the same hatching to depict not in application. So, not in contract, not in the application, and also to depict fire department access route. So they have to clarify that legend. Fire department access route at the parking level is only 30 inches wide. I don't know if that's adequate. That seems quite small. And if there is no access to elevator C in the parking garage, how do pedestrians get to the gym if they park in the garage, which I assume most gym users will do? So there's no way to get to the gym without walking up the ramp and then getting into, I don't even know which elevator. You have to go all the way around the block to get into the elevator to the gym. Let me see. We have open hazmat issues. We received the phase 2 and it was sent to DEP with a promise date of next week, basically a turnaround, but now who knows? We also have open DOT. They're still awaiting a response to DOT comments, et cetera. And I'll let Tracy just add those comments. I'm gonna unmute Tracy again if you want to add anything. Maybe not. Okay, Tracy.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted. Yes. Yeah, we were waiting for the response to DOT comments. The last submission said they were going to come in a separate cover, but we haven't received them that we know of. And there was some discussion of the pedestrian gates that had to be addressed. Maybe the applicant will be addressing that. So.
Okay, great, thanks. All right, so then I'm going to recognize Commissioner Shanda. Okay.
I really did not have any additional comments. I'm very appreciative of DOT conducting a thorough review and looking at all the recommendation, including ours. I know they have, I believe DOT does not think that gate is something that would be viable. So I will go by whatever DOT is going to recommend on this because they have the expertise on this, and I really did not have any additional comments on it.
Right, okay. Commissioner, I've lost her. Where's Holly Brown? There she is. Sorry. Everyone moves around on my screen, so I can't find you. Holly Brown, okay.
I was satisfied with the site search letter because the way they laid it out, it explained to me the things that they said in the previous hearing about not being able to find a site within 1 mile. And they actually went back and showed an example of 3 sites that were too small and then went on within 2 miles. They identified what they were looking for. And out of all of the different availabilities, I looked at all of the ones that were large enough. And if you just looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that were large enough, they didn't have everything they were looking for. So I was like, okay, I'm satisfied at this point.
Okay.
As to the operations of accessing the site with a car, I agree with Vice Chair that I will defer to DOT for their recommendations. And I will follow along with what they suggest.
Right. Yeah, the drop gate was an idea, and we don't have experience with the drop gate, and apparently DOT finds it clogs up the work. So, okay. Then Commissioner Shetta.
I have a question and a comment very quickly. They reduced the number of parking proposed from 144 to 134, and the reasoning for that, they said now they know who is renting this. So my point is, how about if the tenant changes or walks away and somebody else that needs more parking is in? This is one thing. The other thing is the fire department. I'm not sure if we received feedback from the fire department.
We did.
My understanding is that they submitted drawings to them, and I'm not sure if we heard back from them. I haven't seen a response actually.
I believe we have fire department. Fire department letter of no objection dated January 28th, but we'll ask them to make sure they're looking at the revised set because it includes a fire department route in the parking garage, which that was my question, which is only 30 inches wide, and that seems quite narrow to me, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's enough. I don't know. So we'll speak on Commissioner Shabeta. I can't unmute you there. Oops. There we go.
Thank you. I was having a bit of difficulty hearing everyone. So if I'm repetitive, forgive me. I do agree that the site search, I was happy to see it. We had a couple of hearings that we were asking for it, and they finally gave us something that works, and I'm glad to see that it's going to work. I also am looking forward to DOT's final review so this project can get moving.
Great. Because Shibeta, this is kind of an off topic because Commissioner Shibeta had trouble hearing. Did anyone else have trouble hearing? No? Okay.
No, although when Commissioner Shibeta came on, there was this very like buzzy sound. So I don't know, maybe it's his connection or something.
I'd like to ask Steve and Carlo and maybe Kurt, because I'm not sure if Kurt is monitoring the sound, to please monitor the sound on the YouTube video and make sure that we're all audible, because that would be quite terrible if we're doing this and we're not able to be heard by the public. So please monitor and interrupt us if we're not clear. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I see again, someone is in the waiting room. You need to hang up the phone. James Chun, you have to get out of the waiting room. This is a review session and only call in when your case is called. This is a review executive session where no speakers are permitted from the public. Okay, we can call the next.
Okay. 2018-145 BZ 251-73 Jericho Turnpike. This is the physical culture establishment. Marjorie's frozen. We're having some technical difficulty.
I sent our next invite. Probably her wireless connection probably dropped.
Mm.
I'm back in. Okay, I'm back in.
Okay. So we're discussing 2018-145 BZ 251-73 Jericho Turnpike, Queens.
Okay, so fair warning, this might happen again. I don't know why it's happening, but I keep getting kicked out. So that's the nature of the Zoom. Can everybody just wave their hands who are on video? I just want to make sure no one's frozen. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. Okay. All right, so now we're looking at, say it again. Sorry, Tony.
2018-145 BZ 251-73 Jericho Turnpike. This is the portion of the site that's the PCE, proposed PCE, or actually, yeah.
Okay, so drawings were updated to coordinate with the daycare drawings. I think they're consistent. The acoustical data was submitted as requested, and they even actually showed some waterproofing underneath the showers, which was one of my concerns about leaking the showers into the daycare center. I don't know that that's going to be much, but everyone should be aware that showers leak, especially in gyms, et cetera. I posed the same question to then the PCE operator. How will patrons of the PCE access the building if they drive in to the parking garage? They can't go into elevator C. And the reason for that is because they need to block up the access to elevator C in order to provide enough parking spaces. So I just don't really understand how that's going to work and how you're going to protect the pedestrians in the garage when they leave the building, since they can't go to any of the elevators. So that doesn't even, because one elevator goes to a medical office, one elevator goes to the daycare center. I don't know that there's any way to use those elevators if you're not part of that. So now you have an ADA access problem also. So I don't understand how that's working. So those are my comments. So Commissioner Shanda.
Okay. My first comment is with regards to coordination of the plans. Maybe if it's possible, especially with regards to the proposed plot plan, all the diagrams that are shown on that, which is mostly vehicles coming in and stop signs and other things, those may change based on DOT comments. So I'm just asking, would it make sense for them to just leave that portion blank and put a note saying subject to BZ, whatever application approval, and that way they don't have to make any changes to that section, just focus on the building, garage up.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay. With regards to the garage access, you have a good point. With all these elevators closed or being exclusive, how does then the PCA customer access it and be ADA compliant? I see that there is a 2 foot 6 inches kind of a paved, like a hatched area that goes from 1 and 2 staircase C. No, sorry. Let me zoom in to elevator number C. The only thing is that the elevator door, and I know we had asked them to close that because of the location of it, maybe the elevator door can be accessed from the side, and the doorway, instead of the doorway that is leading to the gas meter, can be moved a little further away, and the entrance can be from the side instead of, am I making sense?
No. So where are you, what floor are we on?
I am looking at seller plan BZ, BSA 002.5.
But there isn't any access to elevator C.
Well, we had asked them to close off the access to elevator C that was facing the lift, the vehicles that are going to be on lifts. But this is a question for the applicant. Maybe the elevator door can open on the side where the gas meter room is. Maybe the elevator door can, the gas meter room can be, the door can be moved further in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the doorway can be from where the door swing is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that way the access to elevator C can be provided from the cellar level.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think part of the problem is, this has been a discussion for a long time with this case. All of this was built without coming to us for approval, right?
Right.
That elevator has one door, and it's possible that you can, I don't know, I'm not an elevator builder, but it's possible you can add another entrance to an elevator, but I'm just guessing it's installed, it opens in one direction, and that's your choice. And there's probably rails on the side that prevent having the door open, but it's not to say that it's impossible to put beams to carry the rails or something, but I'm not an elevator designer. I have no idea. So
Okay.
it's possible. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Lee Brown.
I have no comment.
Okay. Commissioner Shadegard.
My only comment on this is again about the vibration monitoring, the vibration issue. Again, they are talking about 6-inch thick concrete slab. My understanding is that the building is a flat plate system, but if you look at the spans between the columns, they are about 25 feet. This is kind of really wide span. And if the only stiffening element is just the concrete slab, even 6 inches is not stiff for that. Actually, for that span, 25 feet, it's actually cylinder, I would say. So they should consider looking into the vibration issue, especially they are located next to a medical use, next to a daycare. I believe they should look more cautiously into the vibration thing.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you. Anything else? No? Okay. Commissioner Shabeta? Just a second. Hitting the unmute button. Okay. Oops. There we go.
Okay, nothing further from me on this one.
Okay. Were you able to hear?
I was.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, so this concludes the public review session for April 1st, 2020 for the 2 p.m. calendar. We'll now commence with the public hearing So item number for April 1st, 2020 at the 2 p.m. session. The call-in number should be across the crawl on the bottom. Do you want me to repeat it or?
Sure, why not?
Sure. So the meeting ID number is 194-894-306. Password is 048463. And the number is 646-558-8656. And so first case is 2017-270BZ, 1434 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn. ID number is.
Okay,
Mr. Loria, turn off your YouTube, please.
I did.
Okay, so now we can hear you.
Right.
Okay, I need to swear you in. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before the board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, proceed.
you can go ahead.
Okay, I can, yes. Well, I heard the executive session, and I apologize for not completing a complete set of plans because I just followed the DOB requirements. It's only provide those that are changed. So I'm sorry.
Okay, so we're not going to ask for anything additional because we need to just move this on, okay? So thank you for your submission. I think we have everything we need. Fire department, are you okay? Hold on a second, just a second. Okay, go ahead.
Fire department has no objection, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
All right, do any commissioners have anything they wanted to add? All right then, so I would like to, I'm going to unmute everybody so we can close this. We don't, for Mr. Lawyer's information, we don't have closed votes on cases that are being streamed like this. It's too complicated for us to handle. So instead, what we'll do is close this hearing and then schedule it for decision on a later date, which hopefully is sooner than too much later.
Madam Chair, before you close, did you want to say if anybody else wanted to speak about it?
All right, thank you. Are there any speakers, members of the public who would like to speak on this? If so, please call in on the number that's displayed, I hope, on the YouTube video site. We'll give you a couple of seconds to call in. Just want to make sure that I'm going to unmute this person who's Galaxy Note. I don't know who that is. Who's Galaxy Note?
Oh, Vinroy.
Okay, hi Vinroy. We should get Vinroy to have an identification of his name. Maybe Kurt, can you change his name to Vinroy? Okay, all right, so there are no call-ins. So then I'd like to make a motion to close this.
Chair Perlmutter,
Aye.
Vice Chair Chanda,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Shabeta.
All right.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll set up a hearing date for later on, Ed.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
let you know.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 2, 2018-15BZ, 250 West 28th Street, Manhattan. Please call in.
the dial-in, yeah, the dial-in
Call
number.
in number. I'm sorry, Madam Chair, were you going to say it? Sorry.
Okay.
646-588-8656. The meeting ID number is 194-894-306. Password is 048463. Harris Smith, there they are.
He's-
Isn't that them, Jolene?
Say again?
Oh, can you-
Yeah, they're
Mr.
aware. I just emailed them.
Okay, that's Crown Architects.
Mr. Smith is on the line, or was. We lost him.
Oh, no, Mr. Smith is there in video. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
You are. Hi.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
Thank
So
you.
let me swear you in. Do you affirm that, can you raise your right hand since I can see you? There
I
you go.
can, yes.
Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board to respond honestly to board member questions?
I do.
Thank you. Proceed, Mr. Smith.
Hello. We
reviewed the executive session notes and can combine the drawings into a single PDF. I believe that was the only comment that the board had, and we're here to answer any further questions.
Right. So actually, you don't need to do that. We'll combine them so as not to have more submissions. That was me just alerting our staff that the drawings need to be combined because they were submitted separately. So you don't need to do anything. And
Okay.
I just want to make sure that fire department is okay with this. Let me just unmute. There we go. Mr. Daly.
Daily Fire Department. Yes, Madam Chair, the Fire Department has no objection to the revised plans. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Okay, any other commissioners want to say anything? Okay, so we have 3 people who are in the waiting room. If you're in the waiting room waiting to be called on, you better be there for for case number 2018-15BZ, 250 West 26th Street, because I will call on you and I will ask you to speak. If you're online there, you should hang up. If this is 250 West 26th Street, please hang up or I will admit you as a speaker on this case. Giving you a second to hang up. Capstone, phone number 831, phone number 343. Please hang up if you're not here for 250 West 26th Street. I'm about to admit AB Capstone. Please state your name. Are you calling in about, unmute, there we go. Are you calling about 250 West 26th Street? AB Capstone?
Hello?
Hello, yes. Are you calling about 250 West 26?
No, Jericho Turnpike.
So that's later on.
Listen, please hang up the phone until your case is called.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. All right, so everyone else got frightened by that and they hung up. Now we have someone else in the waiting room, number 701. Please hang up the phone unless you are calling about 250 West 26th Street. I'm going to admit you. And then you better be here about 250 West 26.
I am. I'm here about 251.
251 West 26?
No, 251-73, Jericho.
No, hang up, please. That case is later on. Please.
Okay, I'm calling back later. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
in a few minutes.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, that delayed things. Okay, so hearing no other comments from commissioners, I'd like to close this hearing and we will put it on for decision and let you know, Mr. Smith, what the date is. Hopefully as soon as possible. You don't have anything to submit, so we'll make a note of that, okay?
Thank you.
I've unmuted, or someone's unmuted all the commissioners, so for a motion to close.
Chair Promoter,
Aye.
Vice Chair Chanda,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Shibeta.
Aye.
Okay, application is closed.
Okay, great.
Item number 3, 2018-91BZ 7880 Leonard Street, Manhattan. Mr. Overland, please call in.
Okay, if this is case 2018-91BZ 7880 Leonard Street, AKA 79 Worth Street. If this is your case, please dial in. We're waiting for dial in on the Leonard Street case, 2018-91BZ. The phone number should be on the YouTube video. Tony, you want to restate the phone number? Just the phone number.
Sure. The phone number is 646-558-4666.
Yeah.
8656. There's John.
Okay, good. State your name, please.
John Overland, give me just one moment. I'm going to turn off the YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please. Okay, I'm sorry for the delay. I'm here.
Okay, let me swear you in first. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and respond honestly to board member questions?
I do.
Okay, please proceed, Mr. Overland.
Thank you very much. For the record, Madam Chair and Commissioners, my name is John Overland. I'm associated with Klein Slowick, PLLC, for the applicant Crunch LLC. I did listen to the executive session on this case. If I could go back just briefly. We had the first hearing on this application on the 28th of January, and I was asked to respond to several issues, one involving the depiction of what appeared to be massage rooms on the BSA2 of the plans, ADA access to the premises itself, and sufficiency of the notice of hearing, and also the sound attenuation. Let me address the notice of hearing first. I'm going to go back to my submission email, if I may. Shortly, well, I'm sorry, about the 24th of February, I submitted a submission letter with amended plans, a landlord's affidavit concerning the sound attenuation, and several photographs. Among those photographs addressing the notice of hearing depicted the posting of the notice of hearing before the mailroom. There's also a common area. If you look at the photographs, it looks like there's an alarm bell or something in the lobby area. This is a kind of common area for 78 Leonard where people post items. And the notice of hearing was posted at that location. We have several photographs, some close-ups showing the depiction of the posting of the notice of hearing. Now, the notice of hearing depicted the hearing date of the 17th of March. That was before the outbreak of the coronavirus situation and the attendant shutdown from it. But we did post notice of hearing for that time. It was posted. It was served. It was also posted by the mailroom where people get their mail. So we made every effort to give notice to all the occupants of the building of the hearing date. Addressing.
Can you just, you know what?
Yes, ma'am.
At the February 26th submission, and I see the posting, but
Yes,
the only
ma'am.
I can know is that it is from your office because I recognize the logo, but I cannot read what it says. Do you know what the notice said?
Hold on just one moment. I'm going to beg your pardon. I'm working on a laptop. That's my work computer. So
We all, or most of us anyway, I don't know. Many of us.
sometimes this thing gives me fits. I sincerely apologize. Let me see if there's anything else going on.
It's just to understand whether the notice advised people to submit testimony.
Yes, ma'am. I finally got it up. I apologize for my technological deficiency. It's on the form forwarded by the BSA, and I'm glad you brought that up because previously this was, let's see, it says, the New York City Board of Standards of Appeals has scheduled a public hearing on the following application. An application by Crunch LLC for a special permit pursuant to zoning resolution 73-36 to operate a physical cultural establishment within an existing building. And further down, it gives the calendar number. It says interested persons or associations may appear at the hearing, present testimony regarding this application, or may submit a written statement to the BSA via mail or email at the following addresses. And it provides the 250 Broadway address and the submit at bsa.nyc.gov address.
Okay, that's what we needed. All right, so we have received, to my knowledge, nothing in submit.
No.
So, and then Yeah, we've received nothing, so I think there's been no comments from the public on this. Okay, please proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Now, going to the issue of ADA access, I was able to confirm that the ramp at the Worth Street entrance is in fact the wheelchair accessible ramp. So what we've done is we put a posting at the Leonard Street entrance of the existence of the access. That there's a photograph depicting there's also a photograph depicting that notice in that submission. Let me see if I can find it for you.
Yeah. I think that's also on February 26th, no?
It should be, ma'am. Wow. I'm sorry.
No,
I've
it's
got a
okay.
hodgepodge of stuff here. Let me just. The tax map, EAS, ceiling, ramp.
Yeah, I found on February 26th, there was a letter, an image. It's not clear where it is. It just says notice of ADA accessible access at the Worth Street entrance.
Yes, ma'am. There's that notice. There's also a photograph depicting the actual ramp. I apologize. There should be a submission letter in there as well, which explains what these photographs depict.
Okay.
I apologize. I think that the working via the YouTube and Zoom is kind of hindering us all.
Okay, so just to understand then, you're saying you can actually enter at grade from Worth Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. At grade directly into the PCE from Worth Street?
Well, I
No.
apologize. Let me just confirm. There's a ramp that comes up the side. There's a series of photographs. We took several photographs because there's some railing. It looks like there's some railing in some of the photographs that's obstructing the view of the ramp. So we took several photographs of the ramp depicting how the ramp comes up to the door so anyone can come up there and access the building.
So wait a second. So if you look at Leonard Street, the elevation of Leonard Street shows that you can go into the residential lobby directly from 80 Leonard, which has from 80 Leonard, there's an entrance to the residential lobby, and then that swings around, that takes you to an elevator or directly into the PCE. So for me, that would be good enough. I don't see how you get into the PCE from Worth Street because Worth Street requires that you penetrate through residential space at grade or take stairs. There's also an elevator. Maybe that's the elevator to the PCE. I don't know.
I believe it is. I believe the elevator serves the entire building. Let me go back to my notes, Madam Chair.
Okay. So the cellar has an elevator in it, I guess. Okay, so it sounds like you would take the elevator to the cellar of Worth Street, and that brings you arguably into near the weight room and down a ramp and something. Anyway, I'm okay with the access through the residential. Commissioner Shonda has her hand up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think the best way to look at the access from Worth Street is the Plan BSA 6. I don't think, I agree with Madam Chair, that the Leonard Street access from the residential also provides access to the portion of the PCE that's along Leonard Street. And then one can navigate from there to go to the portion of the building that's on Worth Street and vice versa.
Right. So I don't think we have problems with ADA.
Yeah.
Okay. Please continue, Mr. Overland. I think we're satisfied with the ADA access.
Thank you. Thank you. If you have any further questions about that, please. I'm sorry, I'm trying to jumping back and forth. Now, I believe that there was some inquiry about the sound attenuation.
Yes.
I went back through the file and I noticed that there was a requirement for sound attenuation in the resolution, the 2010 resolution.
Mhm.
And the plans we'd submitted previously, and I apologize for not having those with being able to present those. The prior operator of the PCE was Millennial Sports, and we had an affidavit from the landlord describing the emplacement of the sound attenuation. I wasn't quite clear on the commissioner's comments regarding the sound attenuation, but we did cut into the ceiling to take a photograph of it to provide the evidence of the sound attenuation. And the sound attenuation installed was a 4-inch lightweight concrete floor on the second floor, a 2-ply drywall ceiling on the ceiling of the ground floor, the installation of 2-ply drywall shafts, and the emplacement of all commercial HVAC equipment on steel dunnage on the roof, supported by perimeter walls. So I apologize. I wasn't quite clear on what the gentleman was discussing. I'll be glad to either address those if I can or come back with supplemental information.
Mhm. Okay, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Sheta. Just one question. So are you saying that so wait a second. This is a new special permit, but are you saying that there was a prior PCE there that was the same type of a PCE?
Yes, ma'am. The difference being in this situation that in the intervening time, there were two separate calendar numbers, one for Leonard Street and one for Worth.
Right.
And in the intervening time, the tax lots were combined. So we had to proceed as a new application. It's in the one of the statements of facts I submitted previously. I apologize for not having that in the submission.
Okay.
In February, but it's one of the, I can find that for you and send that to you. But at that time, it was treated as two separate PCEs, one for Leonard Street and one for Worth. The two tax lots were combined, and we proceeded as a new application. Yes, ma'am. That's the case here.
Okay, so then the acoustical measures were created for the prior PCE, and you just made a hole in the ceiling to show that, look, indeed, the sound attenuation blankets were installed. Is that correct?
That's correct. Let me see if I can find the photographs. There were several photographs about the sound attenuation. Let me see if I can find those.
Yeah. I think they're also on February 28th.
Yes, ma'am.
Like that. Yeah, Commissioner Sheta, did you want to speak? Because it sounds like it's a pre-existing condition. It's not like they putting in a new PCE today and this is a legalization. It's a pre-existing PCE that's getting new permits because of the change in.
Yeah, I just thought about it, and if they didn't have any issue with the sound, with the noise, I'm fine with it. But what caught my attention is the use of the lightweight in the submission letter. It reflects that the lightweight concrete is actually utilized to do two things: vibration mitigation and sound attenuation. And typically you don't put concrete to mitigate the sound or to attenuate the sound because you already have a concrete slab there. You don't need additional concrete slab to attenuate the sound. Okay. So that's what caught my attention. But if they didn't have, like I said, issues previously, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Okay, sir. If you do, please let me know.
Okay. No, I think we're good with that. And it's on that February 28th submission. There are photographs of you cutting a hole in the ceiling and revealing the sound attenuation blanket and the 2 layers of looks like 1 inch, well, maybe it's 5/8 inch sheetrock. So, okay, go ahead.
Let me see if there's anything else in the, I apologize. Let me just kind of go over the letter real quick. Also depicted, there was some, in January, there was some question about massage rooms on the BSA2. I need to clarify something real quick. In February, we sent copies of amended plans depicting the rooms at issue in the BSA2 as 2 storage rooms and 1 break room. And there were also photographs confirming the use of these rooms as storage. Now, subsequently, we were asked to amend the plans. And unfortunately, I don't know why it happened, but the plans that we submitted, I think it was early March.
March 13th.
Depicted all 3 as storerooms. We did correct that and sent it a corrected BSA2 to you yet on Monday. I apologize for late submission, but I caught that while I was reviewing that for Monday.
Oh.
But we did catch that and send you a corrected BSA2. There are no massages going on in this PCE. The massages were by their predecessors in Interest Millennial Sports. I'm here for any other questions you have regarding this application.
Okay, so there are no massage rooms then. Okay.
Oh, ma'am.
So one of the things, I don't think I see the submission from, I didn't check folder, but the last submission that I have in my version of your folder, which is not necessarily the last one, if someone else could check it, is March 13th, which is what Ms. Matias referred to.
Right.
The drawings that you submitted, you actually, because we're all looking at PDFs, the drawings are not legible. The notations on the plans aren't legible because it looks like it's a scan that was sent to us. So we actually wouldn't be able to see if it said storage room there. So if you could rescan, or I'm sorry, send us a new PDF and make sure that all of the text on the drawings is visible in a PDF, that would be very useful, because at the moment it's just kind of mushy text and we don't know what a lot of it says.
I'm sorry. May I interrupt, Madam Chair? So in the email he sent me on March 13th, because I had requested that he put the standard BSA notes. That's why he resubmitted on the 13th. So if you look, if I can see it on it's a BSA 2. And in that portion, it does say there were 3 secure storage rooms.
But you're looking on the plans?
Yes, at the PDF that he emailed me on March 13th.
Oh, but is that what, so I have a March 13th, 2020 submit date, with the red stamp.
Right, that's what's, so it says above the towel desk lobby, there are 3 portions that say secure storage room, secure storage room, secure storage room. Is that the area that you're talking about?
Oh, I couldn't read that. So, but I guess that's what he's talking about is the former massage rooms though.
Right.
Right. So then he resubmitted something just the other day saying that there was, I think, 2 or something. I don't know if did I forward that,
Right.
John?
I apologize for late submission. It was an error I caught on Monday as I was reviewing and preparing. If I may, we also hand delivered the full size copies of the plans.
Yeah.
Before everybody shut down for coronavirus. I can email our architect and ask him to send legible plans to us.
Right,
If
because
helpful,
now
we
the
also hand delivered before everybody shut down. So
right. So now BSA 2, is it BSA 2 still? Yes, BSA 2, now the one you sent yesterday, has 2 secure storage rooms, and now the 3rd one is called the break room.
yes, ma'am. And the photographs in the February submission show photographs depicting the storage room use and the break room use.
Okay, so what we just need to do anyway before we vote on this is to make sure that we have a clear set of drawings. So we're not taking any more hard copies until future.
Right.
Or further notice. So it would be a PDF and make sure that all the text on the PDF is legible. So that's my problem with the one I have. Maybe the one that Tony you're looking at is legible, but mine isn't. I'm going to, Commissioner Shonda has her hand up. Maybe she's seeing.
Excuse me.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do see the March 31st submission, and to me, it's legible. What I actually my question was, why did we even have to change the February one? Because whether it's a storeroom or a break room is less of an issue. We just don't want this to be a massage room. That's really what's the point. The only difference between the February and the March submission is the additional notes that has been added with regards to occupancy and other things. Maybe that can be on a separate sheet and not be on the page where we have the plans. Maybe that will make the drawings more legible.
No,
But
it's not the notes that are not legible. I can read those. It's the drawing, the letters inside the floor.
I'm able to read them.
They're a little wonky. I understand what she's saying because they're a little like they like sort of dance. But I
think
could read it.
Let me just see if
one
I
for
can
the
get you some
March
better
13th
plans.
is March 13th is not legible. The 31 was fine. I was okay with it, but the 31 one is only one sheet.
Right, the one thing I caught was the BSA 2 that depicted the 3 rooms as storage rooms rather than as massage. I can do any, you know, I can arrange to get you better plans. I can whatever you need.
So what we need is a set. If you only sent one drawing, that doesn't work for us. We need a complete set submitted. Submit a complete set and check before you to submit.
Right.
That the drawings are legible and that all the text inside the rooms is legible as well. Okay. And
I am on it.
Okay. And I'm recognizing Miss Benke, Tracy Benke.
Hi, sorry, my my video is disabled, but so in terms of the EAS, there we go. Hi, I'm okay with the EAS, except the gross square footage of the PCE doesn't match the plans, and I noticed that because it's under 20,000 square feet. So that wouldn't have triggered an EAS. So if you could just correct that to correct the actual gross square footage on the EAS.
Okay, I appreciate your comments. I got an email, I think it was about a week or so ago saying correct the square footage. And I submitted a corrected EAS. Oh goodness, when was that? Let me see if I can find that one.
Let me see.
Right, I recall that, but I didn't see the correction.
I'll double check for you. I'm sure I made the correction because it was one of those things that before everybody went ape on this, or ape on the coronavirus.
No, I think John, is that I reached out to you again because you had put back, I had asked you to the EAS, to do the short one EAS, and then the square footage was still wrong. You had 19,000 and change and not the 20 change. So that was the one thing you had to correct again.
I'll follow up and get back with you. I remember the exchange of emails. Look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll send you what you need.
Okay, it's question 8 on part 1.
Okay.
Just a thing, Madam Chair, can I interrupt a second? So I just got an email from Eric. I guess they're watching the video. Your YouTube intermittently is jamming a bit. Just did it during Lennon. So I don't know if he sent it to Carlo and then too. So I don't know if that makes a difference to anybody.
Okay, so it's jamming a bit.
That's what Eric says.
A request again to Carlo.
Intermittently it says.
Carlo, Steve, and Kurt. Can you please continue to check on the continuity and visibility of the YouTube stream, and give me a hand wave or something to indicate that you heard this request, because I'm gonna unmute Carlo. Can't unmute him. He's a host. There, Kurt got the message. Carlo, can you indicate that you've gotten the message? Good, okay. And Steve, please indicate you've gotten the message.
He has BSA admin.
He's admin.
Yeah.
And just to make sure that it's functioning because we have a
I got it. It's a little slow, but it's streaming.
it's streaming now, but
Yeah.
it's slow.
It's low. It's a low. Well, got a low bit rate.
Oh, is there something that we should do? Should we restart or something like that?
No, we could go ahead. Go ahead.
We can?
Yes.
It's understandable?
Right. It's like back and forth. It's understandable.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Please continue to monitor it though and interrupt us if it's not working properly. So we'll pause, we can hang up and dial back in or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I got another email, freezing and lagging. Okay, yeah, everybody's texting me. Okay.
So it's freezing and lagging. That's bad. So what I'd like to maybe suggest is do we try?
That was just 8 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago. So maybe it's better.
Can we get confirmation from Carlo, Kurt, or Steve that it's better? Yeah, I see you, Commissioner Shetta. All right. I'm going to continue. If it's not better, yeah.
I'm doing okay.
It's doing okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay, good.
All right. So Commissioner Shetta.
I wanted to say that I'm looking at it. The moment we go live, I get a notification and I open the video on YouTube, and it's working fine now. I monitored it for the past 3-4 minutes. It's okay.
Yeah, hi Marjorie. This whole time I've been monitoring. This is Carlo, and it's fine right now.
Okay, but please let us know when it lags so we don't, we can pause and wait for it to catch up to us, as opposed to having bad transmission that's not understandable by the public, okay?
Well, at least they're letting me know, so I'm just trying to monitor, sorry.
Problem if they're hearing review session and now, but they can't hear it or understand it, that's a problem. When we can't transcribe it, that's really a problem. Okay. Okay, thanks. All right, so anything else on this case? Mr. Overland, do you want to add anything?
No, ma'am, I'm open for questions.
Okay, anybody else questions on this? Is there any member of the public who would like to speak on this one? Tony, can you just read the dial-in number?
Oh, sorry. Dial-in number is 646-558-8656. Meeting ID number is 194-894-306. Password is 048463 if you're using the Zoom.
Okay. So I think this one, I'd like to close it and we'll schedule it for a decision at a later date that's hopefully not too much later. Mr. Overland, so the only things we need from you then are a clear set of drawings and to amend the EAS as directed by Ms. Bankgate. And other than that, I think we're good. So I'm unmuting all the commissioners and I'd like to make a motion to close.
Chair Perlmutter?
Aye.
Vice Chair Chanda?
Hi.
Commissioner Otley Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Shetta?
Aye.
Commissioner Shabeta?
Aye.
Okay, so this
is
closed.
We'll schedule the hearing date, the decision date, and we'll let you know when that is, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for dialing in and for your patience.
Thank you for your patience with me. I know I called in a bunch of times.
Okay. You'll get great at this by the time we're done.
I hope it's not too much longer. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so we're calling the next two individually, Marjorie?
Yes.
Okay, so 2018-137 BZ, 251-77 Jericho Turnpike, Queens. This is for the daycare.
Right. So this is Mr. Palatnik's office. Please, someone from that office call in.
Oh, it's better. Good. Thank you, Eric. Let me text Travis.
Oh, someone's here.
Oh, okay.
Not sure,
Never
who it
mind.
is, but let's try. Hello,
Hello,
who's calling?
Eric.
Hi, Eric. Eric
Who's
who?
this? Eric Palatnik.
Palatnik.
Who's this?
This is
Jella?
Perlmutter. State your name, please.
Marjorie Perlmutter. Eric Palatnik.
Okay, let me swear you in, Mr. Palatnik. Are you the only one there?
I am. It's not playing on YouTube with you right now.
Uh-oh. Okay.
What do you
this-
mean?
John Overland is on. It's
Oh,
like
it's a
a
little-
delay.
There's a little lag.
So you turn
Okay.
Aware of the lag thing.
Oh, yeah, let me turn that off. I apologize. Okay. Hi, it's Eric
Okay.
Palatnik. I don't know if it was clear. There should be a host of people dialing in. If you could maybe re-announce it, Tony.
This item is 2018-137BZ 251-77 Jericho Turnpike, Queens. This is for the daycare.
So we do have people who have dialed in. We have A. Valari who's dialed in and someone with last digit 831 who is dialed in. We don't know who that person is.
Are these your consultants?
Yeah, you should also have who dialed in before, KOH Architecture.
So we have,
And AB Capstone.
okay, so
AB Capstone is in.
but KOH is not yet dialed in unless they're phone number 831.
It might be. I don't know. James Chun is his name. He's the architect.
James
I
Chun
don't know what.
visible when
Don't-
he dialed in earlier. So
Yes.
last,
Mr. Avalabri is visible.
okay, so
All
that
right.
went away. All right. So we'll just tell you who's on now. Where'd they go?
Mr. Avalari's in, Mr. Capstone's in.
Yes.
The Capstone Group is in, Mr. Avalari and Eric, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. And can everybody hear us? Am I able to communicate with my team? Can they hear me when I talk right now?
Well, they're muted right now.
They're muted, but they could hear me. So Zachary, if you could please call James Chun and make sure he dials in. Okay. Thank you, commissioners, and for Tony for setting this up.
Sure.
Okay, could we wait to swear them in?
Yeah, I'm gonna unmute everybody, so all the call in. So we have Mr. Capstone and Mr. Villari and Mr. Palatnik are all unmuted, and I don't have any other.
Okay, that's you have Zachary is the gentleman from AB Capstone. Zach,
Yes,
if you
that's
can
right.
introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Zach Schwanbeck, Development Director for AB Capstone.
Okay, and Andrew, you can introduce yourself as well.
Hi, my name is Andrew Valeri. I work for Stonefield Engineering and Design. We are a traffic consultant for AB Capstone, the applicant.
Okay, and the only other person we're waiting on, hopefully he'll find his way in, is James Chun, who's the architect. And Zach, maybe you could text him. You had his cell phone number before. Maybe
Yeah,
you
I
could
just
reach
gave
out
him
to
a call.
Okay, great.
Good. Okay, so
All right.
Want me to swear them in? We could start?
don't have them muted because we can't swear them in if they're muted. Okay. Yeah, everyone's unmuted who needs to be sworn in.
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions? And somebody turn down their YouTube.
Yeah, turn off your YouTube, and I'm admitting Dina Claimert, and there's also
That's it.
last three digits are 701. Do you know who that is? I'm going to admit them.
Yeah, she's the principal of the architectural firm that James works for.
Okay, so I'm admitting that person. If the two people who were just admitted can state their names, please.
Zachary is the gentleman from AB Cap.
Please speak up. Somebody-
Dinah and Mayor, please turn off the YouTube and state your names on the Zoom.
State your name, please. Phone number 701. Hello.
Hi, sorry, I was on mute. Mayor Babayev, AB Capstone.
Okay, good. So you want to swear them in, Tony?
The two people that just joined, Dina and Mayor, Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board, and to respond honestly to board member questions?
Yes,
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
we affirm.
Whoever is called in, please turn off your YouTube, because we are hearing it in a delay and then we can't understand you. Please close your YouTube. Okay.
Yes, I affirm.
Okay, great. All right, you want to proceed, Mr. Palatnik? And when each person first starts to speak, could you identify yourselves, because it's not so obvious who's who and who's what, okay? Because some of you don't have your names. Instead, there's kind of like the company name or whatever, so please identify yourself when you speak.
Marjorie, could you unmute Andrew Valari?
Yeah.
He's part of the team.
I did that and it keeps getting
Okay.
muted. Okay.
While you're unmuting him, I guess I'll start for the sake of time. Hi, it's Eric Palatnik speaking on behalf of the applicant. Thank you all tremendously for making the time to do this and for keeping a sense of normalcy. You should all be commended. This application has been before you for a very long time. We listened to your review session. We had our own discussion right afterwards, so we're prepared to give you many of the answers that you're looking for. I think perhaps the most substantive question that we heard you all talk about, I'll go right to, was the elevator, the access for the gym. There appeared to be some confusion as to how people were going to get into the gym from the cellar level. And the idea that we're suggesting to you is that they are going to come up, go through the cellar level, come up to the first floor level, and then go out to the street and walk around on the street to enter the gym, just like they would do if you were in a parking garage in Manhattan and you parked your car and you were going to a Broadway show. It would be the same thing. There's no non-compliance with handicapped accessibility by doing that. It's fully compliant according to Dina, who's on the phone with us. She's the project architect. And it solves the problem that the board had with elevator C all the way over there on the side. So I don't want to move on too quickly to any other subject. If it's okay with you, I thought maybe we'd stop here, hear your thoughts on that, and then respond.
So can you explain, so what happens? You get out of your car, you leave your car with the valet, and then you walk up the ramp, is that?
No, you don't have to go up the ramp. You can use the elevator. If you go to the cellar plan on the school drawing, BSA 002.1.
Right. Which elevator?
They could take, I believe they could take elevator A, which then if you go to BSA 003.1, you'll see is the one on the left. And they can come out right there. That'll let them out into the public corridor. That's not, it's a medical office entrance, but it is a public corridor. It's not private. And they could walk out of that. They can go right out through the front doors and then walk down the sidewalk.
Walking down Jericho Turnpike.
Down Jericho Turnpike, right. So it's, listen, if they're going to go, our theory is if they're going to the gym to work out, they could start with a little warm-up from their car. But more importantly, it also satisfies the handicapped accessibility requirements, which would be the one main concern that I would have if that didn't satisfy, and it does.
Right. Well, and also you don't want to discourage people from using the parking garage who are going to the gym.
No, and we don't think we will. It's not a far walk. The building is not that big. It's if somebody doesn't want to park, wants to drive, it's very easy to do.
I want to just recognize Tracy Benke, who raised her hand, maybe related to this.
Hi, I thought those comments, I thought we're hearing the daycare first.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the elevator comments were under the gym application.
In comments. So
okay.
The gym operator, but obviously all of this is being done because of the daycare center and how they're being asked to manipulate their site.
Okay.
Okay.
It crossed over, Tracy, between both applications.
Right.
The discussion. Okay. So that was that conversation you had, and then Madam Chair, you had the comment about the fence. The fence is, if you go to the very last page, of the drawings, BSA 014.1, the very bottom and right-hand corner shows you the fence that's being described. And that's the fence that you had made the comment, Madam Chair, that the driveway, that there's too much going on the floor, on the site plan, there's just with the signs and everything. And that's, the fence got messed up there. It's not really depicted as it should on the site plan. The fence we're depicting is that small, narrow strip that's separating the entranceway drive aisle from the daycare drop-off parking area.
Wait, so, okay, I'm on 14.1.
Right. So in the lower right corner, you could see the actual, the visual of the fence.
Yes, so
But okay, so that fence is actually located, if you go back to the site plan, which I guess the one showing it the clearest is BSA 001.1. And Dinah could make a much clearer depiction of this. Right in the middle of that site plan is the fence, and it's not labeled there, and it should be. It's only really labeled on her next plan, on the proposed first floor plan, which is the comment you made earlier, that there's too much going on the plan sheets and it's not so clear.
Fence, then the one between the drive-in and the parking area? Is that where?
Yes, yes.
Has where there's a label that says hatch striping?
Correct. There should have been a label there that said green fence and
There is a
so forth and so on.
4-foot high vegetated fence, but
Yes.
there's no dimension. You don't know where it is. What there really should be is 4-foot high vegetated fence with a little circle, and then it says
Yes.
CL number, whatever page that was. That we
Yes, yes. It could be a lot more clear, and we understand why you got messed up on it. And Dinah's on the line, and James, I think James is on the line, but they're the architects, and they'll take care of it. Also, they heard all of your comments at the review session with regards to dimensioning everything. So they will go through and they will clean up whatever overburdened nature of the plan sheets are, so they don't put too much on the plan sheet, and they also will include all the dimensions you asked for.
Okay, great.
As far as you mentioned, Madam Chair, that the driveway doesn't line up at the end, we were talking about that. I think you mentioned that we changed the width of it. We made it 24. We slid it a little bit closer towards the intersection. We'll speak to DOT about that because we're going back and forth, and we'll find the exact proper location that they'd like to see it settle at. And we heard all of everybody's comments that all the commissioners had with regarding to DOT. That's all true. We are still at DOT. We have communications with them. They've asked us to do some on-street, some counts and some studies. Of course, we can't do it right now, but we are attending to that. And the fire department, switching to that, fire department did sign off on the application. I know that, Madam Chair, you had the comment about the 30 inches as the walkway at the cellar level. I was asking Zach about that, and he said the fire department, that was their discussion point, was to have the 30 inches. So that was done at their suggestion.
Okay.
And
I'll just get the fire department to verify that in a second. So, okay.
Okay. And I think, I know that Commissioner Shavetta had a comment about, or Commissioner Shedd, excuse me, you had a comment about, and the board all had a comment about the Not-for-Profit Philanthropic Association designation that we've now given to what was the medical office space before. That space is approximately 3,000 square feet and change. It has been leased to Northwell Healthcare Center. It's 3,622 square feet to be exact. Northwell has signed the lease for it. What might be tripping you up on the plans is, again, it was an oversight. The architect did not change the plans yet, and the plans still show exam rooms on that floor. Those exam rooms are going to be coming out, and I'm talking about the fourth floor plan. And instead, you're going to be having space in there that will be will not show on the second floor plan, third floor. And that space on the third floor will be a philanthropic without sleeping accommodations. And you won't see exam rooms in the next submission we make. Rather, you'll just see meeting rooms because that's the purpose of that space for Northwell.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask Commissioner Shanda, who has her hand up.
Thank you. I'm looking at BSA plan number 009.1, which is the vehicular circulation plan. I think my suggestion, if it's okay with you, Madam Chair, is to make this the plan where all the footnotes, comments with regards to DOT and all the fence details, all of that are included. This way we keep the rest of the drawings free. So there's a fence with planting, assuming that's the same fence that is between the driveways, the two driveways, and also the fence along the property line.
Right. I don't know where that fence is either. So there's that's another fence that's 4 feet high, right?
Right, but the consistent, if they're proposing a 4-foot high fence with planting for the property line and also between the two driveways, then it can just be there and indicated through a note that this is the fence that detail that will consistently be applied across all the fences on this site.
Sorry, where are you suggesting all the notes go?
BSA 009.1, which is Vehicular Circulation Plan.
Mm-hmm.
This was as part of the February 26, 2020 submission.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that may clean up the rest of the plans. But that's just my suggestion.
Yeah.
I leave it to the applicant to figure out a way that works. It worked for me when I was reviewing it.
Because I understand why you're saying that, because it's really a plan about the access from the outside, which is where all of these parking signs and everything else are. And you need less of the interior. You only need a little edge of the interior just to know where the front doors are from there. So yeah, I agree that that's the one that I read, but then I go to the site plan, and the site plan had additional information. And so that's where you had that non-coordination. So I agree that 9.1 would be a good one, but that's up to the architects to clarify this. We just need all the exterior information on one drawing and not have it repeated everywhere where there's chances for mistakes and redundancy. Go ahead, Sham.
I had another comment, and that's regarding the change of use from a medical facility to a philanthropic use, and thereby the parking changing. Again, this is an as of right use, and should the applicant at a later date chooses a use group that will require parking, that's between the whoever the owner and DOB to make sure the adequate amount of parking space is provided on site. So I don't think we need to dwell on that. But yes, the plan should be revised to reflect that currently what we have before us is an as of right use with a parking requirement.
Agreed. Other comments from commissioners on what we've talked about so far? No? Okay, Mr. Palatnik, you want to continue?
I believe we've addressed everything that I'm looking through the notes from your review session. I think we've spoken about everything that I heard you talk about. I know Dinah is on the line with us. Dinah, did you have anything you wanted to address?
She's not muted. You can go ahead, Disclaimer.
Dinah or James? Oh, maybe we lost her. But no, we understand all your comments on the plans and all of the changes to be made, and we could do all of those right away. Everybody happens to be home right now and willing to do some work. So whatever you need, we'll do it right away.
Well, we still have open DOT, and if I'm right, we have open hazmat still, right?
You do. You do. But we're happy to submit all of our plan revisions and so that we can make everything to your satisfaction, so that those are the only remaining outstanding items.
Okay. All right. So we do have, I'm unmuting Jella Prenga. Go ahead.
Hi. Also, I just wanted to add, because it was very recent from Monday, that the details about the parking garage ventilation system should be included as part of the EAS. That was requested by DEP as part of the hazmat review. It was just a few emails back and forth, but it was sent to
we
their
saw
office. Okay, great.
That was a request from DOT or DEP?
DEP.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right then. There's someone in the waiting room with phone number 831. Is that? Oh, they're admitted. Okay. Hi, phone
Hello?
number 1. State your name.
Dinah Clammers.
You just called back in. Okay. Turn off your YouTube, please.
I'll mute it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Great. So did you, I don't know if you heard, if you had anything you wanted to add. I don't know if you heard what there was. Eric, do you want to ask her anything specific?
Dinah, were you on the call? Or were you on the YouTube? Were you able to hear were you able to hear what we were talking about?
Yeah, I saw the YouTube. However, there's a tremendous lag on my computer with the YouTube versus the phone, the real live conversation. So I think I heard everything though.
Okay, and whatever you didn't hear, Dinah, we'll go through with you afterwards. It was all mechanical type of items. It wasn't anything that I don't think you could listen to the YouTube again and we can communicate.
Clarifying everything and just cleaning up the plans, and I get it.
Yeah, no, we'll make you a list. Madam Chair and Commissioners, we're very clear. We'll go through. There's a record from what we have and what we took. We're very clear. It was very concise and very to the point.
Okay, I'm going to recognize Chief Daly, who has his hand up, but I just want to remind anyone who's listening to this, a practitioner who's listening, that you cannot listen on your phone and YouTube at the same time. It's one or the other. Otherwise, you're right. There's a lag of several seconds and it'll be nonsense. So please don't try to listen to both. It's not going to work out. I'm going to Chief Daly.
Good afternoon, John Daly, Fire Department. I wanted to answer your question earlier regarding a 30-inch wide access aisle that's shown on the plan. That is the minimum width that for a two-person hose line team that the fire department is looking for. So that 30-inch is acceptable to the fire department.
Great, thank you. All right, we have, not sure whether this person's a member of your team, R. Hellenbrecht, who's in the waiting room.
That's a community board person, I believe.
Richard is the chair of the community board.
Yeah.
So I'm going to admit Mr. Helen.
Mr. Hellenbrecht?
He's still connecting.
Oh, I see it. Sorry. I don't have my glasses on.
Okay, now you go. Mr. Hellenbrecht? Nope, still not connected. Yeah, it's tough if you have a weak Wi-Fi connection. Mr. Hellenbrecht, are you there?
Do you want me to see if I can conference him in?
Well, he seems, his number is on here. Mr. Hellenbrecht, can you hear us? Yeah, maybe try that, Eric.
Let me see, I have his phone number here. Hold on one second.
Mr. Hellenbrecht, Mr. Palatnik's going to try to call.
Hey, yeah, he's. I just spoke to him, and I'm going to call him right back from this phone line now. So hold on one second. Let's see how good I am at conference calls.
So I appreciate everyone's patience in working with us on this rather fantastic yet cumbersome YouTube Zoom video conferencing. It's wonderful that it exists. It's the way of the moment, but it's still tricky.
Eric Palatnik, and I have Eric Palatnik with Richard. And how's this? An applicant offers to bring in his own potential opposition on a conference call.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Am I live? Okay, great. Sorry, this is Richard Hellenbrecht, Chair Land Use Committee, Queens Community Board 13.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I've been monitoring, and I just wanted to ask, we're kind of flying blind on this whole operation. We haven't had any updates or drawings or anything from the applicant since I guess we declined to approve the applicant quite a long time ago. And we'd just like to get read in on where things stand right now. The whole issue of changing from medical to philanthropic use is new to us. And I'm sure it may be fine, but I'd just like to ask if Eric and Meyer could get back with us and so we can understand what's going on.
Okay. So this is Marjorie Perlmutter, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
We appreciate very much your participation, especially under these difficult circumstances. I'll let Mr. Palatnik clarify, but the change from medical is only for, I think it's 3,000 square feet, whereas the rest of the use will remain medical. So there's an entire floor that's medical office. It's just a portion of one floor that's going to be used as what's described as meeting rooms for Northwell Health. So what we have now is an application where there is no longer a request to reduce the number of parking spaces. That was the one that was the biggest issue for us. That application was withdrawn. So the number of parking spaces being provided on the site is what's required according to the zoning regulations. And the uses that are proposed are a daycare center on the first and third floor, a gym on the, do I have that right? Second floor? Am I right about this?
Yes.
And the
Third floor.
Third floor, sorry. And so the care is on the second floor.
Second and fourth and third, yeah.
And then medical offices in the balance. Okay, medical offices and this not-for-profit, which is really part of Northwell Health, which we're told is not medical offices, but meeting spaces. No reduction in the required parking. The cases that are before us now are the daycare center being located in a zoning district where it's not normally permitted. And also a gym, which is a pretty standard application to allow gyms everywhere in the city. You have to come to us for a special permit.
Right. I'm aware generally of what the initial applications and up to the point that we had, like Community Board 13 had declined to approve. It's just basically the entire parking scheme, which affects the income and outcome of vehicles and egress and ingress. And the effect, therefore, on the community is to, traffic and whatnot. And I'm glad to hear that DOT is going to be, providing some comment on that issue. The location and size of the driveway and other issues like that were of serious concern to us. I don't even know at this point in time if there's going to be stackers on the outside and this whole issue of cars being put on lifts and to meet the parking requirements. So I don't want to take everybody's time. I'm sure that Mr. Palatnik and company will be happy to bring us up to date. If I could, just get copies of drawings sent to the office, community board office, that'd be fine.
Hi, Richard. It's Eric Palatnik, and I am sending. Right now, I'm going to send it to you. You should have reached out to me. I didn't realize it didn't get to you for whatever reason. The last submission, maybe it was related to what's going on right now, because it did go out at the end of February. But nonetheless, we will get this over to you. And you and I have had a long relationship, so whatever went wrong in it getting to you, I apologize for, and we'll send that over to you right away.
I appreciate it. People are asking me questions all the time because I also live very, very close to the facility, and I'm just constantly battling questions, and I don't know answers. So I'd appreciate that. And again, I don't want to take any more of the board's time. It's very important, and I know there are many people, and there's yet another item to talk about. So I will sign off, and I want to again thank the chair and the board for letting me in.
Thank you so much for calling in. We really do appreciate it. Thanks.
Richard, this is Zach from AB Capstone. We can connect after this too to bring you up to speed.
Good, Zach. I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. We do appreciate your.
Good afternoon, all, and be safe. Thank you.
And to the applicant, We do appreciate your direct outreach to the community board. It's particularly difficult now that they can't be in the room with us talking. So they're in the sort of virtual room, and that's the best we can do at the moment. Okay. So commissioners, any other questions, comments? No? All right, then. So we know what things need to be done. Basically, it's DOT and fire department. We now have, we're okay with fire department and open hazmat issues, right? I think those are the only outstanding issues, correct? And the DEP with the ventilation. So so we can't close this because we have open environmental, but we will let you know when the continuation date is and put this on for continuation. And ideally you can resolve the DOT issues. You should obviously be working directly with DOT and DEP constantly to try to get this resolved sooner than later. Okay.
We are the DOT issue. We may have to do another traffic count, so we're trying to coordinate with them if we have to do that and when we could do that due to the public health situation.
Right. So, and that we know that there is a moratorium on traffic counts.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. So, we'll see what happens. We'll put this on for the understanding that we need to have a few rounds with DOT and maybe one with DEP and allow for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for your participation. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And as a side note, thank you to your staff. They've really gone above and beyond. It's almost been seamless. All of them. Everybody that works for you has been doing a wonderful job. You should know that.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe. Okay. Next item is 2018-145BZ, 25173 Jericho Turnpike. This is the PCE portion.
Right.
Thanks, Jacques.
So this is an Ackerman case, so please call in.
Madam Chair,
Hi.
is AB Capstone part of the team for the PC?
Maybe. They may be still related to it. Well, the architect, it may be the same people.
Okay, got it.
Because it's the same building, right?
Frank Saint-Jacques is joining.
Great.
Oh, you got him? Okay, I was
Yeah.
just texting him. Okay.
Just give him a second to connect. Hi, Frank, can you hear us?
Hi, Carlo. I can hear you. Could you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you see,
Great.
Great.
All right, so Tony, if you could just swear in
I'll
the
swear
team.
him in. Sure. Do you affirm to raise your right hand? Sorry. Right. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond on city board member questions?
I do.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks.
So go ahead.
Oh, hi, everyone. Frank Saint-Jacques, Ackerman LLP for the applicant. We listened to the review session and to the previous hearing regarding the daycare center in the building. I believe that they answered the questions relating to access that were posed regarding the PCE. So just say it's not ideal, but that's how the building will be configured to allow access to the PCE patrons. I believe that was the only open comment. I'm sorry, the Commissioner Shetta mentioned that there's potentially further concerns as it relates to vibration. We can, we'd asked our acoustical consultant to do a thorough review of the proposed attenuation measures, and he had examined the physical space. We can actually ask him to take a closer look, pertaining to the specific vibration question if needed. But as we understood from his analysis, that the sound attenuation measures proposed would be sufficient for the space.
Okay, so please do. I unmuted Commissioner Shaita if he wants to add anything.
I would encourage them not to interact with the acoustical consultant. I believe the structural engineer could look at this, and if the structural engineer believes that with the activities that's going to be inside the gym, there is no vibration likely will be transmitted to other areas like the daycare or the medical, I'm fine with it. If you can get us like a letter from the structural engineer, I believe that would be satisfactory to me. And I think that the structural guy is the one who should look at it.
Okay. Makes sense.
So we'll try and coordinate that with the base building with ownership. There's not a structural engineer attached to the PC project, but we can coordinate with the applicant for the daycare and the building ownership.
And I believe they're still dialed in and are listening to this. So unless they.
Okay.
Okay. But in any case, is Capstone still on the line?
Yes.
I see them there. Yeah. So just did you hear that request
Yes.
of structural engineer?
Yeah, we heard.
Okay, great. So now you're coordinated already.
The structure, I mean, just to put my 2 cents in, the structure was created, for a gym. I mean, the gym signed the lease before we built the building.
Ah.
But we'll coordinate that with James Chun.
Mm-hmm.
That makes your position actually better. If they created this especially for a gym, then ask the owner to give you some sort of backup from the structural engineer that his design criteria included a gym, and he is not like anticipating any vibrations to travel to adjacent uses.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take that.
Okay. Got
Will
it?
do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. So any other comments from any other commissioners, staff, anyone? Is there anyone listening to this hearing who would like to speak on this item? This is the gym at 21-73 Jericho Turnpike, calendar number 2018-145BZ. Just give a second for any people to call in. The number is shown, I hope, on the YouTube site. And otherwise, I think that's it. So I think that other than the vibration issue, okay, so that's an open item anyway. It's traveling along with the other case. So should we keep this open or travel it along?
Got to travel along anyway.
Travel it along, Commissioner Shanda. I'm unmuting you.
I think the only question is with regards to the PC is specifically the vibration issue.
Yeah.
All comments with regards to access to the site and vehicular circulation is more related to the daycare, and all the notes can be related to that. And I think if that's the only holdout, maybe we can close it and they provide the structural drawing. And if it's satisfactory, we then can vote on it. If not, we open it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. I don't need even the structural drawings. I just need.
I mean,
a letter.
sorry, I meant the letter
I
from the
just need a
structural engineer.
certification from the structural engineer that.
Yeah, no. That was, she didn't mean drawings. She means
Yeah.
that you requested. The other that we requested of these drawings is that there be a note on the drawings that say access points to be coordinated with DOT, right? So as long as we're okay with the access to the gym really is through the main street level front door, and an elevator that's within the gym as opposed to any specific access from the cellar, in other words, right? So as we're okay with that, I'm okay with closing this, but the drawings do have to be submitted, as we said. Add a note that indicates that all of the kind of site specific information is to DOT, and maybe make a reference to the other case so you can see that it's traveling along. DOT with respect to case number, whatever that one is. What's the other case number?
In 2018-1, sorry.
So high up here. I have so many notes.
2018-137.
Thank you, BZ.
Right, so Mr. Sanjak, if you just make a note on the drawings that say access points and so on, and seller access and all of that are to be coordinated with DOT, and with respect to case number 2018-137BZ, that way going forward, people will understand that there's kind of a link between the two cases like that.
That sounds good. We'll submit a revised set with that note. I
Great.
believe that's just the seller in the site plan.
Great. So I am going to then unmute the commissioners and make a motion to close the PCE only.
Okay. Chair Perlmutter?
Aye.
Did you say aye?
Yeah, I said aye.
Okay. Vice Chair Chanda?
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta?
Aye.
Commissioner Shabeta?
Aye.
Okay, this application's closed.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this concludes the public hearing for April 1st, 2020 for the cases that were to be heard on March 17th. We will resume tomorrow at 10 a.m., April 2nd, for the following cases: 2019-21BZ, 2223 East 14th Street, Brooklyn; 2019-22BZ, 24-47 95th Street in Queens; 2019-64BZ, 1334 East 24th Street, Brooklyn; and 2019-165BZ, which is 1375 East 26th Street, Brooklyn. Those are the only 4 cases we'll be hearing tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Right. Okay, and that should be all the cases that should cover all the cases that were on for the March 17th hearing, which was canceled as a result of
COVID-19.
remotely, and any other case that was not called has been adjourned or postponed, and all cases will advise you on when those will be heard. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Performers. Bye.
Bye.